Yogis, it's Taryn, the Remote Yogi. Today I am joined with one of my guest teachers and fellow blogger, Laura from Her Backpack Bliss. And today we're just going to be doing a quick practice that is focused on focus, actually. So trying to get clear and settled when our minds are really crazy, whether you're trying to complete a task for work and you can't seem to focus, or you're just feeling a little bit of anxiety or overwhelm. This is a great practice for you today. The way we're going to focus is by bringing our awareness into the breath. So we'll be really doing pranayama throughout the practice today, focusing on making our exhalation longer and longer through each flow, doing a bit of yin yang. So we'll be holding poses for maybe a minute, 2 minutes, and then flowing in some yang where we're using the breath for those flow practices. Before we begin, I just want to let you know that if you have a hard time extending the exhalations for the longer counts, that's okay. Just do as long of a count as feels good, and don't judge yourself if you can't do the 8-second exhalation. Just do what you can and focus on the breath. That's your biggest goal today. So join me on the mat. You don't really need anything today, but we're going to do a little bit on the knees. So if you have like a mat at home or a towel or a blanket or a pillow to put underneath the knees, especially if you have hard floors and sensitive knees, I'd grab one now, pause this video, and we'll meet you back here. Okay, so getting settled into our seat, whatever that looks like for you, the most comfortable. So you can place one of your feet out in front of the other, place a foot up on the opposite thigh for half lotus. Or if you'd rather kneel, do that. Do whatever feels good here. We're just gonna practice on some pranayama to begin. Also noticing if your hips are feeling really tight today, you might wanna grab that pillow or blanket and sit up on it. That might give you some extra space to open up here. And let's just take a moment to really press the tailbone into the ground, lift through the top of the head. So you're trying to make the spine as long as possible here. Allow the eyes to close and just bring some awareness to your natural breath right now. What's taking place? How does it feel? And slowly we can start to bring more and more control to the breath as we begin to elongate each inhale and exhale. Moving the air in and out through the nose. And just noticing the way that feels. Maybe you've got some cold or warm air moving over the top of the lip as you breathe in and out. Keeping the eyes closed, maybe bring the hands to the belly. And as you continue to deepen the breath, focus on the belly movement. With every inhale, allowing the belly to expand like a big balloon, inflating. And with every exhale, the belly button drops back in, pulls up into the spine. And keep moving the belly with the breath. Oftentimes, when we're stressed and anxious, we begin to shorten the breath, and this can happen over long periods of time, years even, where the breath slowly starts to become shorter and shorter, and we stop using the diaphragm completely. But it's really important in yogi's practice that we bring the breath into the belly using the full diaphragm, and that helps us send signals to the parasympathetic nervous system that everything's okay, that we can calm down. And we can use the body to help calm the mind, right? Using the belly breathing to send signals to the brain to stop stressing out. Awesome. And allowing the eyes to open here. Bringing the hands back onto the knees. Let's just take a few nice shoulder rounds here, moving the shoulders up and back. we'll take it in the opposite direction, shrugging the shoulders forward. Maybe even letting them drop forward. Letting that pressure relax, right? All right. Last few ones. Let's bring all the pressure we've been dealing with all day. Bring the shoulders way up to the ears. Make the whole body really tense, and then exhale, let it go. A few more of those, really dramatic. And one more. Awesome. Bring the hands onto the knees. Just allow the head to roll side to side here. Taking it forward, side to side. If it feels good to you, you can roll full circles, but always noticing what feels right to your body. And coming back to center, hands on the knees still, palms down. We'll just circle the upper body, so kind of making some big or small circles with the chest, getting a little butt massage while we're at it. Hey, added bonus, right? And the other direction. Awesome. Back up to center. Before we begin our flow today, I want to do one more pranayama practice. This is one of my favorite practices for focus, and it's one that you can quickly do in the bathroom at work when you're feeling really stressed out and need to focus in on getting something done, getting a deadline pushed. So it looks a little funny, which is why I say in the bathroom stall, because this is not one of the ones that you can get away with at your desk without anyone being like, what is happening? So we're doing alternate nostril breathing. So using your right hand, bring the right thumb onto the outside of the right nostril. We'll bring the two big fingers, place them in between the eyebrows, and the two little fingers, place them on the outside of the left side of the nose. Perfect. So on the inhale, we'll close the left side of the nostril. Inhale up through the right. Pause at the top. On the exhale, close the right side, open the left. Exhale out the left side. Inhale, bring it back through the left. Pause at the top. And exhale over to the right. Keep it going. Inhale, right side. Pause. Exhale to left. Inhale, left. Pause. And exhale, right. And just keep this going a few more rounds at your own pace. And of course, if you get lightheaded or you're just not agreeing with this, you can stop at any time and come back to normal breathing. Or of course, if your nostrils are blocked, maybe skip this one today. And go ahead and complete one more full cycle. Awesome. So now we're pretty focused and calm as we bring our eyes back open. And just take a moment to kind of shake things off here. Let go of any kind of intentions you have for class, and we'll begin by finding our way up into tabletop. So you can round forward onto the knees, or easier, you can just throw the legs to one side, because I know that not all of us have that kind of flexibility, and that's okay. Perfect. So when we're on the knees like this, Lada's going to use a mat here to put underneath her knees, but you can use a blanket, pillow at home, whatever works for you. Awesome. So on tabletop, let's make sure that the knees are directly underneath the hips. The hands are directly underneath the shoulders here. We're going to move into a cat-cow, but using our inhalation and exhalations to kind of elongate the breath each time. So as we move into our cow pose, arching the back up, dropping the belly, lifting the chest forward, lifting the head. And then as we exhale, we'll scoop the pelvis under, pull the belly button in, round the head down, chin to chest. Awesome. Let's do it with the breath. Inhaling for 4 counts. 2, 1. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep going. Inhale for 4. Moving through the whole breath. Exhale this time for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one as we exhale 8, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Coming back to neutral spine here. Just kind of shake the hips side to side. We're just noticing that when you're moving with the breath, there's so much more awareness, right? The brain can't really think about anything else, just the breath and the body movement. So bringing the big toes together behind us here. Let's take the knees as wide as the mat. We'll sink back into our child's pose, walking the hands forward here, bringing the forehead down onto the mat, dropping in. And this is, again, more of that yin pose here. So we'll hold this one for a minute or two. And extended child's pose is one of my favorites for really bringing awareness to the belly breathing, because we've got so much extra space here that we can really feel the expansion of the belly as it drops between our thighs. So just paying attention to that here. Inhaling again, the belly expands. And as we exhale, pulling that belly button up towards the spine. It might also be nice here to really heavy sigh the exhales through the mouth. Deep inhalation through the nose. And heavy exhale through the mouth. Especially if you're really stressed, you can get loud about it if you're home alone and no one can judge you. I get real loose here. Inhale. Exhale. Let out all the stress, the crazy emails you responded to today, right? Let it out. And noticing the thoughts are definitely still popping up in and out. It's part of being human here. But you can just kind of play witness to them. Just notice them pop up. Notice if you get caught up in them, and just as easily just return to the breath without judgment, without getting frustrated. Awesome. Looking up in between the hands here. Let's start to bring the weight into the hands. Tuck the toes behind us at about hip distance, and we'll lift up for a gentle downward facing dog. So a nice heavy bend in the knees today. And maybe walking out your dog, pressing one heel towards the floor, and then the other. Moving as fast or slow as feels right to you. Awesome. And then tiny little baby steps. Start walking your way towards the front of the mat. So keep that heel to floor action as you slowly start to walk up to the front. Awesome. When you get here, keep the feet about hip distance, maybe wider, heavy bend in the knees here. And just allow everything to dangle down like a rag doll. So drop the head, drop the shoulders. Everything's really heavy and loose. If you want, you can grab opposite elbows, sway it out, or you can just keep everything heavy. Whatever's in your practice. Sometimes I just like to hug here, but a heavy, heavy bend in the knees. We're not trying to get a fancy hamstring stretch today. We're really trying to let go. Let the breath do its thing. Heavy exhales here. Good. Walking the hands up the legs so we can find a flat back. Looking forward, pressing that tailbone back behind you. Open the chest. And exhale, fold it back down. We'll sweep the arms out to the side and overhead as we rise up to standing position, hands overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Taking a breath here, checking in. Good. Awesome. I'm just taking a moment here to really connect with the breath. We're going to continue to do what we did in that cat-cow position where we're breathing in for 4 counts and then slowly making the exhale longer and longer. We'll do that for a few more yang style poses, add a few yin, and close out the class. So again, nice and easy today. All the way up at the front of our mats here, you've got 2 options as we come into Uttanasana. I can't even talk today. Chair pose. You could either have the feet about hip distance, or you can bring the big toes together, the heels about an inch apart. So whatever is more comfortable for you and your balance. As we inhale here, lift the hands up overhead, sink back like you're sitting back into a chair. Awesome. On the exhale, folding forward. 3, 2, 1. Good. We'll inhale for 4, coming back up to that chair pose. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Moving with the whole breath. Inhale up. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one here. Reach up. Exhale for 8. Counting at your own pace, doing what you can here. Awesome. Hands coming down to both sides of the feet, stepping your left foot back as far as you can. And just take a moment here to rock it out. Press into the heel, wake up that calf. And we'll lower that left knee down onto the ground. Now again, if you're using the pillow or blanket at home, this is another good time to add it underneath the knee. And checking alignment here, we should have this right knee stacked directly over the right ankle. Hands can remain on the ground. We can bring them up to the knees today. We're going to continue that flow practice, this time moving from a lunge on the inhale, then dropping the hands to the ground on the exhale, straightening into this right leg for a runner's lunge. Awesome. So let's bring it back up for 4 counts. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3. Oh, sorry. We're at 6. Taking our times here. See, even yogi teachers mess up. Bringing it back. 3, 2, 1. We're now at 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one as we come up for 4. And go down for 8 counts, or again, whatever works for you. Awesome. Slowly coming back to the lunge here. We'll bring both hands onto the inside of this right foot, maybe walking that right foot out a little bit to the edge of the mat as we come into our yin pose, where we're going to hold this one for about a minute. You can stay here up on the hands. If you've got blocks at home or even a coffee table to hold on to, you need a little extra space, you can come up a little bit here if you need it, right? If you're more advanced, intermediate, you want to lower down to an elbow or 2, do what feels right. We'll hold here for a little bit. And just focus again on allowing yourself to kind of drop in here. Let the hips sink down, but not to a place where it feels like sharp pain or like not good, right? So, and you can also play here if you want to bend and release, but focus on that heavy breath, maybe returning to the heavy exhale size. And just take a moment to tune in to the practice so far, noticing if your mind's already feeling a little more stable, if the breath work's already working for you. But also take a moment to check in, see if you've given yourself any kind of judgment for not being able to do what you thought you could, or feeling frustrated with any of the poses or any of the breathing. Just acknowledge it. And as easily as you can exhale deep, let it go. If you're down on the elbows, go ahead and come back onto the hands. We'll start to walk this right foot back into place, bringing the hands onto both sides of the feet. Tuck those left toes, lift the heel, and step it back to a downward facing dog. Just a brief one here. Lift those hips up. You might even take the hips a little bit side to side to shake off that energy. And when you're ready, take that left foot, slowly walk or hop it to the front of the mat. And we'll drop back down onto, let's stretch the calf. Even it out, right? Come on, Taryn. Here we go. Perfect. Now we'll drop it down onto the knee, again using support as needed, and making sure that we've got our alignment well placed here with the knee over the ankle. Hands can stay on the floor or up on the knee. Again, we're here on the inhale, right? And as we exhale, we'll find our way back into this runner's lunge here, straightening into the leg. Let's try it with the breath. Coming up to the top. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, up, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Up, 3, 2, 1. Last one for 8. Again, at your own pace. Take your time here. Heavy exhale. Making our way back to the top here. Again, bringing both hands onto the inside of that left foot. You might wiggle it out to the side. See what feels good here. Again, just checking alignment, whatever feels right for you. No judgment whether you want to stay high, grab a coffee table, or come down onto the knees or onto the elbows. Whatever works for you here. Playing around and just bringing awareness back to the breath. How can you use the exhales to allow more relaxation in the hips? I'm just taking a moment here as it's one of our last yin postures. Just find some gratitude for the practice, for showing up on the mat at all. Right? Like you showed up. Even if you did half the workout, you showed up. So good job. Awesome. When you're ready, if you're down on the elbows, start to come back up onto the hands. We'll wiggle that foot inward a little bit, bring hands onto both sides of the feet, tuck the back toes, lift off, find your way back to that downward facing dog here. And again, you might play around with some movement, really shaking out those hips. I really love leaning side to side. It feels delicious to me. And when you're ready, you can walk or hop your way to the front of the mat in a nice seat. Kind of jumping forward or hopping forward or stepping forward and coming down as gracefully or not as possible, because sometimes I end up plopping, which is fine too, whatever happens. Let's just take a moment to shake everything out in front here. Whew. Awesome. And just taking a moment to do a couple easy seated twists here. Another thing that's really great for concentration is bringing awareness to twists. It just really helps to get my mind unfrazzled, and it's like I imagine like squeezing out all the chaos in my brain, like as I do the twist. I'm like dirty kitchen rag, squeezing out all that stuff, you know. So let's go ahead and bring that right knee all the way up into the chest here. And depending on your practice, you can keep your right foot down on the floor here, or you cross over. But if you lift this right hip off the ground, bring it back. We want to make sure that that right hip is stable. So wherever you're at, either where Laura is today or where I am, sitting super tall here. Let's start to twist as we bring the right fingertips back behind. You can use this left hand to either hug the knee up into the chest, or you can push yourself deeper into the twist by bringing the left elbow onto the outside of that right knee and twisting a little further. But always trying to find that length, lifting to the crown of the head, maybe looking back over the shoulder, only if it feels good on the neck. And we'll hold here for 2 more breaths. Gently twisting back to center, releasing here. If you've got the bind, go ahead and release. Place the leg back out, shake it out. Left knee now comes up into the chest here, sitting super tall. Again, crossing over only if that hip stays permanently planted into the ground. And we'll lift super tall through the spine. Start to twist over to the left, walking the left fingertips behind, using that right arm again to either squeeze knee to chest or press yourself deeper like Laura's doing. Again, no right or wrong in either form of the pose. What I want you to concentrate on is with each inhale, lifting taller through the top of the head, and each exhale, maybe imagine squeezing, twisting deeper. Even if you don't move, just imagine that squeezing happening. One more big breath here. Awesome. We'll bring it back to center. Unbind the legs here. Shake them out in front. Really release here. And only ab workout of the day. We're going to use our abs to roll down as slowly as we can. Engaging, engaging, engaging here all the way down. Ooh. All right, that was enough for me. Bringing the knees up into the chest. Just rock gently side to side here. Awesome. Keeping the knees in towards the chest. Lift the feet up like you're going to walk on the ceiling, but the knees are still nice and bent. And maybe you can grab ankles or maybe even reach up, grab the bottoms of the feet here. Pull the knees nice and wide and rock it side to side for a happy baby. The most ridiculous looking pose that feels so darn good. I used to teach yoga at a public park, and this was probably my favorite one. Awesome. And when you're ready, we'll find our way to our final pose. Savasana. Don't you dare get up and turn off the video right now. Don't cheat out on this last pose. I used to do that when I was a yoga student. I would just end the class early and not enjoy this bliss of the last pose. So it's really good to allow the body to heal at the end of the class. We did a lot of movement, did a lot of deep stretching. So allowing this final rest here is so important. So we just lie flat on our backs here, allowing the toes to fall outwards, allowing the arms to rest down by our side, palms up, allowing the shoulder blades to round back, and slightly tucking in the chin here so we've got a long neck, long spine. If this feels really uncomfortable or vulnerable to you, you can always place the hands up on the belly as well. That might feel nice. And we're just going to hold this pose for a few moments. Just taking the time to acknowledge that this might actually be the hardest pose in the whole class. Often we think of challenging ourselves with power yoga classes, and while that's physically challenging, it's in these resting periods, in these moments of stillness, that we really struggle to calm down the brain, to just be that witness of the thoughts as they come in and out without judgment. So for the next few moments here, just releasing control of the breath, letting it become natural and soft. And see if you can play witness. Just notice the thoughts come in and out, and if you get caught up in a thought, as soon as you notice you are, take a big sigh, let it go, and return to witnessing the breath. No judgment. And return to playing witness. Release the thoughts. And if you're feeling extra courageous today, perhaps stay here for as long as feels good. But if you're feeling ready to close out the practice here, maybe start to wiggle fingers and toes, bring some light and energy back to the body. Just gently, like you're trying to wake up somebody you love, just sleeping. And again, when you're ready, no rush. We'll roll to one side, taking fetal position, bringing the knees close up into the body. And just take another long, deep breath here for yourself, using the belly to breathe. And we'll press ourselves up into a seat. No rush here. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. I hope you're feeling a bit more focused and clear-headed. Of course, this practice is great for helping you to release some of that overthinking, but we don't always have time for a 30-minute practice. So if you always just need to return to the breathing exercises, the alternate nostril breathing, or the belly breath, I've got a whole blog post on pranayama for focus. I'll make sure to link down below. If you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, please make sure to subscribe. Check back in every Friday. We've got a different video, whether it's yoga, meditation, awesome interviews, or me rambling about anything that's on my mind. Make sure to check that out and head over to the blog, theremoteyogi.blog, for more free resources on managing your anxiety, on making yoga an easier part of your practice every day, and on just being an inner badass every day. So lots you can look through over there. Such a pleasure to teach you today. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Namaste.